Are you sick and tired of gambling your hard-earned money on Madden packs? Look no further than my sponsor, MMOEXP, for the cheapest and most reliable MUT coins on the market. And don't forget to use code Ferdy at checkout for 5% off. What's going on, guys? Today we are ranking the best safeties right now in Madden 24 Ultimate Team. Of course, if you are in the 50% of people who watch the videos and are not subscribed, let's change that right now. Head down there, hit that subscribe button, turn those notifications. If you want a chance to be the comment of the day and be shouted out in the next video, let's comment the smiley face emoji. We'll comment the smiley face emoji. And of course, the shout out for today's video goes to my man, 88 Chuck Lunch 88. For commenting the emoji on last video. Let's get started. Okay, so here is what we have so far. If you are new to these tier list videos, what we do is we're going to talk about a couple of cards that I want to kind of talk more about. But you know, you might see some new names on here, like Buda Baker down here at B tier, Troy Polamalu's a new name, Julian Blackmon's a new name, Adrian Phillips a new name, Amani Hooker a new name. I don't believe Paul Krause was. Oh no, Paul Krause was definitely out already. But yeah, those are a couple of the new names. Even the 88 overall Pat Tillman's down here, 88 Tyrann Mathieu. A lot of the 88 Division Dynasty safeties are on here already. So, I mean, let's just get started. The first name we're looking at today is going to be the legend Pat Tillman. Okay, first things first, Pat Tillman is a great buy right now. If this was, like, you know, a best buys in Madden 24 video like I made 2 weeks ago, Pat Tillman would be on it. This card going for about 350, I've seen him go as for low as, is a phenomenal buy. I mean, he cards 5'11", 92 speed, 89 acceleration, 92 zone. The only issue with this card is the lack of man coverage. And if you do run a lot of blitzes, sometimes you know your high safety is in man coverage on like a tight end or a running back. So this could be a problem for you depending on your scheme. But outside of that, really good against the run. This card can definitely be a really, really good user with high strength. You know, good acceleration. Even 204 is a good weight on this card. So Pat Tillman, without question, like 100% Pat Tillman into S tier. I'm also this card, you know, abilities, they do matter, but a lot of these guys do kind of get the same abilities, you know, deep in zone, especially the legends. They do get that extra tier 4 bucket. But as you guys can see, you know, adding that extra tier 4 bucket doesn't really do anything because they get it anyway. And you're not stacking, you're not putting 4 AP on one player, 5 AP on one player. You're just not doing that. So tier 4 abilities for safeties don't mean as much as they would for like a quarterback that is now able to get set feed or hot route master, whatever the case is. So yeah, easily though, Pat Tillman is an S tier safety in this game right now. The next man up is the most feared Justin Simmons, 90 speed, 92 acceleration at 6'2". Of course, over 91 zone coverage. And you see what I mean? This card's going for about, I mean, I've seen him go for as low as he's gone for 280, even a little cheaper than that. But even that price differential between him and Pat Tillman, I think Pat Tillman is a much better card than this one. And you kind of can see how cheap Tillman is compared to this one. So, you know, Justin Simmons is good if you have a Broncos team who's kind of growing now in popularity as they've gotten a couple, you know, new good cards as well as that Surtain coming for Harvest, most likely. And by the way, I will be live tomorrow right here on YouTube for the Harvest 1 reveals. We're going to probably gonna have to sit through some MCS stuff in order to get to the reveals, but we're still going to go through it, and we're going to do a little reveal stream tomorrow right here on YouTube. But yeah, most feared Justin Simmons, I'm going to put him at A tier, you know, good size, 90 zone, 90 speed, good acceleration. Card does play pretty well, as most Justin Simmons cards do. And next up, we have the 89 overall most feared Isaiah Palau. 89 speed, 80 acceleration, 88 man coverage is huge on this card with 90 zone coverage, 88 hit power, 87 pursuit, and of course 6'4", 211. This card's really nice. He played well for me, and can still be a really good user. Over the top, we're starting to see these 92 speed receivers, and to me, like, as an over the top safety, you want to be within at least 2 of what the fastest in the game that you're most likely going to be facing is, and to me, that's probably 93 to 92 speed. And, you know, Isaiah Palau playing over the top just doesn't really, I don't think you can really do it anymore. But as a user, card can definitely play. So Palau in front of Isaiah Simmons. But of course, if you didn't get Isaiah Palau from the free most feared stuff, and by the way, also tomorrow, you have a chance to get that free Tariq Woolen. I posted a short about it. If you want to learn how to get Tariq Woolen, it is up on the channel as a short video. If you want to go check that video out. But if you didn't get Isaiah Palau, you unfortunately cannot go and get him now. And next up, we have Ryan Neal, one of the better Division Dynasty cards. And it kind of goes back on what I said about Isaiah Palau. This card's 6'3", 200, but, you know, 89 speed, this card's going to be a box safety. As a user, he'll be nice. Only 81 man coverage and 87 zone. So if you do use zone strat cards, you're most likely not using them on your safety. So you're probably, that's why I like having safeties with, you know, at least 89 zone coverage, because if you have a zone coverage, you know, coach boosting strat card, that boosts the whole team. So you're able to get him to that 90 threshold. Or I just like when they have over 90 to begin with. That's also very, very nice. But against the run, he's pretty decent. This card's going to be mainly used as a user, and it's just kind of a worse version of Isaiah Palau, 1 inch shorter, but pretty similar on how they play as a user, to be honest. But Isaiah Palau definitely has better man coverage stats and things like that. And next man up is the unstoppable limited time Derwin James. And if you can get this card for 400, like if you can buy him for like this, this would be a great buy. Like 400 for this card or anything under 400 is a great rental buy. In case you don't know, of course, these limited time cards quick sell for 350K, so you can use this card as like a rental. You're not going to lose value on Derwin James if you do decide to move on from him whenever you decide to do that. So this card's been good for a while. 89 speed, 89 acceleration, 88 man coverage, 92 zone, great tackling stats, 215, 6'2". Again, I mean, he could play over the top. He could. He has pretty complete coverage stats, but I would probably limit him into that box safety as a user now. But still, of course, does get the unstoppable X factors and things like that. So a really nice card. And I am a big fan of this Derwin James card. He's killed me a lot. I used him for a little bit. Felt good. I mean, no problems with this card at all. So yeah, Derwin James easily is A tier. And next up, we have the AKA CJ Gardner-Johnson, 91 speed, 88 acceleration, 93 zone coverage, 88 man coverage, 87 tackling. And my one problem with this card is I do like the speed and the physicals, like 210 solid, and even can play man zone. Like I like that about this card, but against the run, as a safety, especially if you are running a lot of these lighter formations like some people do, me included, this card's going to struggle a little bit as far as tackling goes. Like really low block shed, but the hit power 83, it's not going to feel super solid. And I think having hit power does make a difference, even when you're really not, going for a hit stick. People think hit power, they think hit stick, but also I think it slows down ball carriers this year. And of course, ball carriers falling forward is annoying this year. So I'm still going to put Gardner-Johnson up at S tier because the physicals and the zone coverage is still so good. But the problem is against the run. That's the one hole on this card, but I still think he is S tier looking at the safety landscape right now. Next up, we have J-Ron Curse. You could, of course, go ahead and buy this card for this price tag, which he's not worth. Or if you want, you can go ahead and grind him for free. If you are close, this is going to reset this Friday. So if you do miss out, you can't get him anymore. But you can, of course, buy the card if you really need him. J-Ron Curse to me is an S tier safety. I mean, 90 speed, 91 acceleration with this build, 6'4", 215. Really high zone coverage, which is really nice for playing over the top or even, being in the box. If you're not going to use him, it's really nice having that quick reaction with his size. But again, it's kind of like CJ Gardner-Johnson, where he does lack that ability to stop the run, like low hit power, tackling and pursuit's pretty good, but low block shed, low impact block. So this card is definitely an S tier safety, a good user, can still play over the top, high zone coverage, and, good size. I mean, this card's really nice. So, yeah, J-Ron Curse, we're going to put him at S tier. And in reality, it doesn't really matter if you have the paid version or the free version, because you're probably not going to use Acrobat anyway, so it doesn't really matter. The next man up is the ball hawk Ed Reed with 91 speed, 90 acceleration, 93 zone coverage, 88 man. Really good catching stats as well, which does matter when it comes to catching those contested passes. Is it going to eliminate them? No, but it just happens less. I've experienced that using an Ed Reed card all year so far this year. But crazy COD, good agility. And you see right here, although he might not have as good as tackling stats as some of the other safeties that we just saw as far as tackling rating, he has 91 hit power, 87 impact block, and 84 block shed with these coverage stats. He actually does play better against the run. I know it might sound crazy, but he does play better. It might not even sound crazy, but he actually just does play better against the run with these stats being important. These three. And it's kind of a flip of what you saw with J-Ron Curse, where he had good tackling, good pursuit, but low impact block, low block shed and kind of mid hit power. So yeah, I'm gonna put Ed Reed up here in front of CJ Gardner-Johnson. One of the better safeties I've used so far this year, and was the best safety until last week, in my opinion, when we kind of went on a run with Pat Tillman and the next two cards we're going to talk about in a second. And next up, we got Ronnie Lott, one of the most versatile cards in this game right now. And of course, talking about stopping the run and things like that, no safety that we've talked about yet on this tier list has this capability. I mean, it's crazy. 86 tackling with good hit power and good block shed and good impact block. Over 90 in man and zone. Like, that's huge. And again, for your strat cards, most of us are not using them on safeties because we have more corners. And we want to boost the corners because there's more corners normally on the field and things like that. So, Ronnie Lott can legitimately play cornerback, by the way. That's how good his coverage stats are. This card plays amazing. 203 at 6 foot with 92 speed, 88 acceleration, 92 jumping. Good COD. Awareness and play rec a little bit low, but of course it's still early in the year, so that'll slowly kind of progress. And also pretty good catching stats. and pretty decent after the catch. So, Ronnie Lott, easily to me over Pat Tillman, but a really well-rounded card. Can stop the run, can play man, can play zone, can do everything on the football field, can play anywhere. User, over the top, cornerback, doesn't matter. Ronnie Lott, without question, S tier. And finally, last but not least, the man who I believe is the best safety in this game right now. That's Brian Dawkins. Brian Dawkins is the best safety right now. The price tag is egregious. Like, I don't touch this card for this price, which is, it kind of sucks that he's so expensive because he is so good. He's just like a slightly better version, in my opinion, of Ronnie Lott. I mean, he still has 90 man, 90 zone. I don't think he's as good in coverage, but the 92 acceleration for me is crazy. 93 COD, good agility, 92 speed, of course. And then, you know, as a tackler, you got 94 hit power, 87 blocks, and 88 impact blocks. So, you know, Dawkins is a better version of Ronnie Lott, but in reality, it's probably you're probably better off if you want to go with a God Squad or just going Ronnie Lott, Pat Tillman. To me, the drop off between Tillman and Brian Dawkins is just if you play man coverage or not. So outside of that, they're pretty similar. But, you know, that's a pretty good group of safeties right there. You can even go buy Ed Reed if you wanted to. These three safeties are fairly priced. Brian Dawkins is a little bit too expensive for me. I don't think any card's worth $1 million, in my opinion. That's kind of where I like to draw the line in the sand. But, yeah, my top 5 safeties right now: Dawkins at 1, Lott at 2, Tillman at 3, Ed Reed at 4, and at number 5, I got CJ Gardner-Johnson. And then, you know, Javon Curse on the edge there. But I'm pretty happy with how this list turned out. I think it's pretty fair. I think I did a pretty solid job on this one. I think it looks pretty good. So, you know, let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. Of course, if you are in the 50% of people who watch the videos and are not subscribed, let's change that right now. Head down there, hit the subscribe button. And as always, I'll see you boys in the next one.